When last fall rolled around, I had a very important decision to make. I knew that I wanted to play soccer, but I didn't know who I wanted to play for. I had two options. I could either play for my all-girls club team, or I could mix it up and play for the boys team at my school. And I know what you're thinking. If I chose the normal option, this speech is probably going to be pretty boring. So I'm here to assure you that I did, in fact, play for the boys team at my school. Now, my biggest struggle playing for this team wasn't that the boys were bigger than I, more physical than I, or even that I got punched in the face. I held myself pretty well, playing against kids that were an entire foot taller than me, and weighed quite a bit more than me too. My biggest struggle was feeling like I wasn't helping my team. I was a defender and I had two objectives: to defend my team's goal and get the ball up to my team's forwards so that we would have an opportunity to score. I knew I likely wouldn't score a goal in my position, but I found myself looking at the number of goals my teammates had and feeling discouraged. I didn't even think about the amount of times that I stopped an opponent from scoring on my team's goal. I was only focused on the number 0 next to my name. The feeling that I wasn't helping my team carried into my FFA career as a section president. I vividly remember sitting in the Decatur Conference Center listening to the major state officers ask us questions about our previous experiences. Question number 1. How many of you have been to FFA leadership camp? Hands around me shoot up, and I quickly realize I'm one of only 3 people not raising my hand. Okay, that's weird. It's fine. Next question. Question number 2. How many of you have been to Washington Leadership Conference or Washington, D.C.? Almost like clockwork, again, hands around me shoot up, but this time I'm one of only 2 people not raising my hand. I'm feeling a little discouraged, but there's one more question. I'm sure we'll get this one. Question number 3. How many of you have helped with chapter visits last year as a section officer? Immediately, I looked down, knowing that this time I would be the only one not raising my hand. I wasn't a section officer before I was section president. I felt less than my teammates because I had less experience than them. It wasn't until Washington, D.C. that I realized my teammates didn't think any different of me. They valued that they got to experience my firsts with me. If those questions hadn't been asked, I wouldn't have realized the differences between my teammates and I. Those differences allowed us to become a family. Our lives are what we make them, and our attitudes determine the experiences we have. Doubting puts up barriers between us and the people in our lives and prevents us from forming true and genuine relationships. We all doubt ourselves at some point or another. Maybe it was applying for a scholarship and comparing ourselves to the other candidates. Maybe it was competing in a CDE. Maybe it was someone in our class we felt was smarter than us. Or maybe it was someone sitting in the same room as us now. Knowing how common it is to doubt, I began to think about how everyone has different experiences. This thought led me to the conclusion that no 2 people will have the same solution to a problem. But I want to be 100% honest with you. I can't say that I don't doubt myself. I can't sit here and tell you that I have a solution to eliminate all of the doubt in our lives. We are going to doubt ourselves. I doubted myself as I wrote this speech. I wondered if what I wanted to say would make any sense to you, or if you would relate. I also questioned my speaking style because each of my teammates and I have such different styles. I thought as a major state officer, I had to set aside my personality and the things that make me who I am to serve our state organization. What I realized is that when I don't stay true to myself, I can't serve all of you with everything that I have to offer. I also know that if my teammates weren't themselves, we wouldn't be able to serve you to the best of our ability. As I was writing this speech, I wasn't worried that it wouldn't be good enough, but I was worried that it wouldn't be what I wanted it to say. A friend wrote me a quote that says, It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you are not. We as humans are going to doubt ourselves throughout our entire lives. But if we let that doubt determine our self-worth, the only certainty that exists is a failure to reach our fullest potential. Looking back on my soccer season, my doubts don't seem valid now. Playing for my school, assisting my teammates' goals, and becoming closer with my team were some of the best experiences that I have ever had. Similarly, when I realized it was good for my FFA teammates and I to have different strengths, we were able to learn from each other and grow together. Without those two experiences, I likely wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. So the solution to doubt? To be confident in who you are and to embrace everything that makes you unique. Take a step back from the situation. Let the initial feelings fade and remember that you were made to be unique. I appreciate the time you've allowed me to give my perspective on making our lives what we want them to be. I dare each of you to doubt less and to be yourself more. Good luck.